All right, everybody. So we are here. I guess it's not this morning, but a little bit after lunch with Emily Blosdale and Anna Hardiman, current seniors at Houghton. Not ready to say alumni yet, and it's not true. So you are current seniors, but they both were in the program for their entire time here at Houghton, and we're just looking to chat with them a little bit, just find out some of their experiences that stuck out. And the funny thing about these two is neither of them are really involved with running in high school. I mean, Emily was a little bit kind of a club, race here and there, train here and there. Anna was just, I mean, she ran on her own. She was black belt, all sorts of stuff. But we kind of recruited her and talked and just like, you know, ended up getting her here. And so the cool thing about these guys is that seems a long time ago, but since then they've been pretty tenacious runners, training with the team pretty much year round, and rounded out some really nice careers for us with all conference performances and just really good stuff there. So just have a couple of questions for them. They're going to tell you a little bit about. So let's start with Emily. The first question, I guess, would be just hearing about maybe one of your favorite races. Maybe you have a couple, but maybe you can hone in on one. Tell us a little bit about it. Give us some background. Give us some detail, and yeah.
Yeah, I think when I first thought about it, it was probably our last cross country race, and not necessarily because that was like a super fast time for me. It was good, but I just remember standing at that line and just knowing that that was going to be the last race, and just wanting to enjoy every minute and second of it. And like the sun was shining, but it was snowy and cold, and I just remember feeling like this is the spirit of cross country. Like there's going to be mud out there, like.
This is St. Lawrence. You're talking about regionals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to set the stage for everyone, it was like 15 degrees, and it was sunny, but it was like snow on the start line. I mean, it was, yeah. Go ahead.
They plowed it, like, yeah. And I just remember looking around, and, we're all like in our warm-up gear as long as we can, and then I don't know, I just remember, and the sun was still like kind of keeping us warm though. It was weird. But I just remember starting, and my first mile was like not fast enough. And I remember, Coach, you being in the forest with Dan, and you were like, "We gotta go! Like, what is going on?" I don't remember my first split, but like it was not fast. And then I just remember being like, "Well, I guess I enjoyed that first mile too much." I was just like loving the race and stuff, and then I think I was able to cut down and make up my time pretty decent. And it was just kind of fun to have that last like fighting battle. There was a pretty solid hill on that course we had to go up.
Twice, right? Twice,
yeah. So it was kind of like the climb that hit, and you kind of got to the top of the hill, and you were like, whoa, like I gotta reevaluate where I am. You kind of had to catch yourself once you got up the top, but it was a lot of fun. We had some alum, Rachel Hummel was there, and she came, and her mom were standing on that hill, and it just also reinstated how much I want to be able to come back and come to races and stuff and be there. And it was just fun to have that whole experience. And I think that was probably a race, I wasn't super stressed about it. Not that I think I stressed too much about it, races, but I just remember feeling relaxed, enjoying every minute of it, and still having like a decent time despite like, the mud and stuff. But that was a solid way to end. I just remember being like super hyped about it after. So probably a favorite, really good one to end on too. So.
Yeah, that's good. And a little bit more context too. So we had just come off winning the conference title. And so we had some goals of being top 20 as a team that we accomplished. So there's some good memories of finding out the team scoring in the gym there. And that was just icing on the cake. And I do remember, I remember like, I think Emily you finished maybe like 62nd or something, which was a great finish. But I think in the woods there, you were like, I was just trying to count quick, and you were like, I think I had you at like 120 or something, and I knew you needed to be. And I yelled that at you, and I wasn't like crazy worried, but at the same time, like you never really feel great about that. So you passed a ton of people in the end, and that must have been a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, that was cool to look at the stats. I was like, shoot.
Yeah, these days you can see splits. You can see how many people you passed from one split to the next. And so there's some cool data out there. I think just to add, it'd be easy for me to choose favorite race of yours that was like, yeah, E8s or something when you were fourth? And that was that. I mean, don't get me wrong, that was a fantastic race.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I still do think that maybe because it was more recent was that E8 3K indoor where, you know, you had run the mile and were second, and then you stepped into the DMR that night as well when you weren't supposed to, but we needed you there. And then you came back at the end. And at one point in that race, everyone was tired and people just made decisions, and you decided to go and were third, and that was huge for the team. So that was awesome. And you sort of like saw Shelby, went after her, and then you both just took off, and that was cool.
Yeah,
So,
that was a good race of working together again. So that was fun.
All right, Anna. So Anna has been in New Zealand for this semester, and she's back with us now in isolation, I guess, for a little bit, which is fine. But yeah, interested in hearing a bit about your favorite race experience if you have one.
Yeah, several came to mind right away. And definitely E8s of last year stands out for sure. That was an incredible day for so many reasons. But in particular, I was thinking back to the first indoor 5K that I ran last year.
Oh, RIT.
And yes, at RIT. And that stands out so much because that day I remember being super nervous about it, but equally excited, which was a little bit different. And I feel like it was the time when I actually switched from being mid-distance in track to actually being distance. And that was such a happy shift. And I remember that race was so incredible because I was with this wonderful group of supportive pacers. And Shelby was there, and Olivia, and Shannon, and Anya, and we were running this race, and they were right there with me the whole time. And I know that, yeah, it's kind of a metaphor for my entire running career. As you said, I wasn't a competitive runner in high school, but it's something that I loved. And yeah, when I came to Houghton, it was running that I still loved, but it was the people that I loved so much more. Because they made running have meaning, which is something that it didn't have before I came to Houghton. And so those teammates really, that race was incredible because they were right there and they were helping me and supporting me. And yeah, it was an incredible day because I felt such a great bond with those girls.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I mean, I think the cool context about that race is I think the whole idea was putting a few girls in that race specifically for you. You know, we were trying to introduce you to the 5K, and it was like, let's just like surround Anna and pace her and get to this time. And I can't remember, you might have run 22 low, maybe something like that. But at the same time, it was sort of a little breakthrough for you at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just awesome. Those girls we were clicking off the splits, and I think like it was you 5 in the race, maybe a couple of other people. And there's a really cool video I like watching of you guys where you guys are coming past the start line there, and I'm sort of like yelling the splits, and you're just in one big group moving as one. That's not that I forgot about that, but that's an interesting one. I was gonna say there was a couple I thought of that was obviously your last 5K on the track, which was big PR 2018. Same thing. We pretty much put everybody in the race for you and Rachel and Julia, and like the idea was just let's get as fast as we can, and we knew that was your last race, so that was awesome. There was another one, and the funny thing is I couldn't quite remember, in cross country where I think it was like Gettysburg your junior year. I don't know why I'm remembering this, but it was kind of muddy. It wasn't a great day. It was a nice day, but it wasn't like a super fast day. And you ran pretty close to your PR, closer than most. And I just remember thinking like you were looking stronger, and it was just like, she's coming along and she's really doing well. And I don't know why. I just remember that one. So yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for
those
sharing
were good days too, for sure.
Yeah. So the next question would be, talk a lot about racing and stuff like that. But as Anna and you both kind of mentioned, the team experience is a big one. And I think it's a big one that just causes people to run and see some of these big breakthroughs is because they care about the team and each other and spend so much time together. So what is maybe an experience with the team? And it even could be out of meet if you wanted, but like, what's just one experience with the team that you just like, just cherish, just kind of like, this was a great moment, this was a great time that we spent together?
I feel like picking one is really hard because they're all so good.
Yeah. Okay, you can give a couple, but I mean, you can talk more detail about one, or you can just give a couple. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, preseason is always awesome because we just have that concentrated time to do stuff together. Once school kind of starts up, we'll get activities and stuff together, but they're a little more spread out with it throughout the semester. And it's also fun to do summertime all together. Like, you know, we'd go to Wiscoy and go swimming, and we'd go to Rushford Lake and raft. The boys would bring their rafts, so that was really fun. I don't know, Anna, do you have other specific times?
Yeah, Anna, you could go ahead if you thought of one.
Yeah, I agree. Preseason is really incredible. But I also think it's hard to choose one because I feel like some of my favorite memories with the team are just these little moments that we shared. And some of them would happen every day. Like on our aerobic runs, we'd run down the hill from K-Pac and we'd say, well, uptown or downtown today? And it's just funny little memories that, like, they made us laugh and groan at the same time at the moment. But looking back, it's just so funny and so wonderful. Yeah,
that's cool. I think, like, I mean, this was for me in college, but also there'd be, like, I'd come up to dinner once a week or so, once every other week. And I think just, like, seeing all the tables of the team up there, like, I don't know, you guys had just finished practice, like, still had your workout clothes on, like, just all gathered around, sometimes really sardined into some tables, trying to fit people in, and just, like, in conversation, excited, whatever, you know. And that's, for me, just, like, seeing that was super cool. So, yeah, that's something that sticks out. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, always love to see, like, we have like 5 or 6 tables sometimes, and that would be awesome to just get, especially with track, like different people mixing up a little bit. Like if you finished all around the same time as, you know, mid-distance sprinters, whatever, they'd end up sitting together. But sometimes we get like better mixes of, like, you'd sit with the throwers that you maybe didn't see as often. And so that was always really great to see. I think that's probably one of the best ways that we mix as a track team on a consistent basis, because practices were just with our group, right? So that's been really neat for track to see that. And I think everybody's been more intentional. I kind of noticed it a lot this year, and just making sure that we're connecting, even at meets, just kind of, you know, mingling around a little bit more. So it's neat to see how much our team has grown, but also had that intermixing between sprinters, jumpers, throwers, distance, and also the energy that we have during, like, workouts was one other thing that I wanted to, like, throw in there. Probably the best ones are like cross country, when there's always one workout, I think we talked about this, where it's like people are coming in and we've lined the last 100 meters and like soccer, look, I guess if it's spring, lacrosse is out there, and we're just like cheering and screaming, and they're probably looking at us like, who are these people? Like, they're just running in circles, but like we're so hype about it. And even at like track meets and cross country meets, we cheer for our teammates the loudest out of other teams. I don't think I've ever seen another team that's as hype about cheering for their people. Like, they'll have, like, you know, they're probably their friends are cheering them on, but I think just collectively our team spirit in our conference stands out. So,
that's awesome. Yeah, really true. I've got this one random memory of your class, your freshman year, and actually, I don't even know if you might not have been there. You were a bit more of a social butterfly that year, but there was something going on in the campus center, some like worship night or coffee house or something. I don't even know, because it was like dark and dim. And I was there with Sarah, and I just see like a bunch of the freshman girls sitting along the wall in the campus center. It might have even been downstairs in Java. I can't remember, but it was like, for some reason I remember like Anna, Abby, Michaela, maybe Shelby, like just sitting there. And I just remember looking over and being like, oh, this is a good group. Like, this is like, they're hanging out. It's just a Friday or Saturday night. They're like new to college. It was the first few weeks. And I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that. So, yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing all that. One more question for you. Keep this a little bit shorter today, but a little bit, sounds a little self-serving, I guess. But for me, I really appreciate like memories with a lot of you guys. And so like, I've got my own that I'll share as well, but kind of interested if you had a favorite memory with me, or just that like on or off the track or course or whatever that just was like, this was fun? Maybe not, that's fine. But I'll go after you guys. So, and why don't you start?
I was thinking about this. I feel like we've had some good, like, just casual runs around Houghton.
Mm-hmm.
Especially there was a season I didn't do track, and we would meet up every once in a while and we would run around and catch up. That was always good.
Last year.
But there was
senior year.
last year, yeah. But there was one, I think it was during cross country. I maybe had like a class conflict or something that came up, and I did a workout earlier in the day. And I think you did it with me. And I just remember that being super fun to, you know, you were pacing me through that workout. But then after we were just jogging around and chatting. And I don't know, I just remember finding that like a lot of fun. And I remember thinking, I was like, this is kind of fun. How do I get out of more practices? Just have a more fun workout.
Yeah.
But,
it was nice to get done in the morning too. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But I just remember that. And there maybe even was a day in February that it was like super warm randomly, sophomore year, I think. And I think similar thing, I had to do a workout before. And it might have been like super early morning, and it was like foggy that day because Houghton is ridiculously foggy in the like mornings. And I just remember the sun kind of coming up and feeling like, well, I didn't run much before I got to school. So like feeling like an athlete, getting up in the morning to train and having that time with you. And it was really good. I don't know. Those are fun memories. So.
That is cool. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing those. And to give some context, not just with Emily, but that's kind of something we do a lot, not a lot, but there'll occasionally be someone who has a class conflict where if it works out, it works. So I've done a workout with a lot of different people, upperclassmen who have conflicts every now and then, and it's fun just to pace them and sort of spend that time together. So, yeah. Anna, do you have anything?
I do. I have several. I think we've had some really great conversations. But in particular, I really have always appreciated your consistency. I will never forget after practice, you would always circle around and say, how we doing? How we doing? Yeah. To every single athlete. And I always super appreciated that little check-in. And after meets, when we were getting off the bus, that fist bump every time with the thanks for your good work today. And I cannot tell you how much it motivated me to know that was coming and to know that I had to accept that fist bump and feel inside that I had given the good work that you expected from me. And so thank you for that. And also, I always love watching you see all the athletes come down the chute or across the finish line at meets, because your face is always filled with such excitement and enthusiasm, and just like you could see how proud you are of each individual and what they're achieving that day. And so, yeah, those are some really wonderful memories that I have of running under your leadership. So thank you.
That's super affirming, super nice. And for our home meets for cross, it's really cool because like since it's our gator, as the gator comes in, I'll usually just stand on the back of the gator because the flagging is lined and I can kind of see what's going on. So I'll stand on the back of the gator to watch everyone come in. It's kind of cool.
I actually have a picture of you doing that.
Oh, do you?
It's one of my favorite pictures of you. I will. You have your arm around Dave Richards' shoulders for stabilization because you're perched way up high on the gator. Yep, it was at regionals when we hosted. Yep, it's one of my favorite pictures.
Okay, you said regionals? Regionals?
Yep, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'll send it along.
Yeah, I've got a couple of memories, and for me, I don't know, like you know, I've spent time with you both, you know, at the house, trivia nights, just different things, babysitting even. You both have come over to babysit times and stuff like that. But memories tied into running a bit because that's just how my mind works sometimes. Is for Emily, I think still sophomore year cross country E8s is one of my favorite memories because that's sort of when you arrived a little bit, you know, like second team all conference. Like, not to say it was shocking, but I mean, it was just, I think we knew it was coming or it was possible, but to see you actually do it and come in like that. And then afterwards got a picture with you and Shelby, and it was just, I mean, you were just really excited. I think you just really, you almost didn't believe that you did it, you know?
Well, I definitely did it.
When we talked afterwards, it was like, yeah, this is what you can do. And so more of a coach athlete, you know, just what you accomplished memory, but that was a really good one for me. And for Anna, like, again, it's cliche, but it's your last race, like, I guess to get a little sappy, like, you're the only one that I really knew that was your last race or competition with the seniors, you know, like I didn't know indoor that was going to be the last time for those guys. And so we got to sort of share that. And so huge PR, which is awesome, but a race very much like RIT, like we talked about, where it was just a great team effort. Em was in there for that one too. And I was just super proud of you. And I looked over and I started to tear up because I was just like, oh my gosh, like that was it, you know? And we just had this moment. And not much was said, but it was cool. So, and very much still our recruiting moment, which isn't even when you're an athlete here, but just at the St. Lawrence track when I was like barely able to talk to you because I was winning for my own race and like red in the face and for some reason just feeling like out of it. And I just like, that will forever be stuck in my mind of a moment that you still came here regardless. Yeah, I don't know. Any other final thoughts? Anything that maybe came to your mind of any of those questions? Well, since we've been going, we can kind of end with that. But anything else?
I had one, but it disappeared.
You can.
I think honestly, I did think about the sophomore year race actually. So I'm glad that you brought it up. And because that was the first time. Was that the first time that Houghton had all conference athletes in the race?
Well, we just didn't have it your freshman year. I mean, we just didn't get anybody in an all conference your freshman year. But I mean, not the first time. But I mean.
Right. Oh, okay. But I guess the first time we had seen it, I guess. And
yeah,
I just remember Shelby and you called us your all conference girls.
Right.
And we love that.
Yeah, I remember the picture. That's still a really good picture.
Hold on to that. It is a good one.
Yeah.
But
cool.
That was good. And then I also remember, and this actually, it stuck in my mind and it's kind of cool. I think it was freshman year. Honestly, it could have been during preseason. And you stood there with your clipboard, and I don't remember where I was on that lineup freshman year, but you took my name, you're like, Em, this is where you are, but we're going to move you right up to the top. And I was like, we're moving you up. And I was like, I remember standing there and being like, this man's crazy. I was like, there's no way. And then, but it kind of motivated me. It was a challenge, I think. It was kind of like, oh, he thinks I can do it. Like, maybe it's there. And so it's kind of cool to be here now and, like, see that. And I'm out running, like, routes that I used to not be able to finish, like, and up hills that would, like, kill me. So it's kind of cool to see that, like, growth and progression. Yeah. Like, it's kind of wild to see what you can do over, like, 4 years with so much encouragement from a team and, like, a great coach that adjusts to what you need, because I know that I've needed, like, baby mileage pretty much my whole career. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just really cool to see that, and that the program has just given me so much. So overwhelmed with that a little bit. But, yeah.
Well, from that freshman year preseason, I actually don't remember a ton, but I remember the run. I remember being at Camp JYC, and I remember going down to Franklinville's track, and we did mile repeats or something down there, and it was warm, and we had driven down in vans, and then just kind of this random high school track in the summer and did a workout, and it was really hot. And I remember you were in your running hat, and that's sort of when you started, read the pace charts and you were where you were. But awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing some memories and connecting again a bit. Just for all those people out there, if you're watching, we're going to do a few of these. Some will be people from the team. Some will be alumni. I actually got a really good one planned here for soon. I'm going to keep it a secret, but it's going to be a little bit of a throwback that I'm really excited for work. So you'll just have to stay tuned for that. But aside from that, thank you very much. You guys can stay on for a second. I'm just going to stop recording.